Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to another video. For the scent of the day, I have a new candle today and it's one of these 3-layered wood wicks. And I really like these ones because they make that little crackling noise. If you're new around here, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you will never miss anything interesting. And I also do upload every single day on Instagram and on Reddit, so if you like new daily update content, be sure to go follow me over on there. This video that I'm going to be filming today is part 2 of my Back to Basics series. And what we're going to be talking about today is prepping and priming before makeup application. And the entire purpose of what we're going to be discussing today is to create a completely prepped and primed base that is perfectly ready for long-term makeup wear. So there are a whole bunch of different ways to do what we're going to be doing today, but I'm just going to go through how I personally prep and prime my skin. And lastly, we're going to be going through a whole bunch of new and different steps today, so just incorporate what you feel comfortable with. So let's get right into it. Okay, for step 1, what I always do is put my hair back and make sure there's no stray hairs in my face. By putting your hair back, you get rid of any kind of barrier to application. Now I'm also going to be putting on a head wrap. Now what you want to do is make sure that there is no jewelry on your fingers, and make sure your hands are perfectly clean because we're going to be using our fingers and our hands for a lot of these steps, and you don't want to use dirty hands to apply things onto your face. And the last part of step 1 is to put in some eye drops. I'm a big fan of the Roto eye drops, but you can literally use any eye drops that you want. I just really like these because they take away any kind of red tint to the eye. Now moving into step 2, we got to take care of our lips. So to prep your lips, I recommend going in with a multi-benefit lip oil. And today the one I'll be using is from Yensa, and it's called the Super 8 Lip Oil. And what a lip oil does is it just preps and hydrates your lips prior to any lip product application. So we're just going to let that sit on the lips while we do the rest of our base. Alright, for step 3, we're going to go in with a prepping balm. And I'm using the Veil Cosmetics Automatte Balm. And it comes with a little applicator inside, and it just looks like this. And all you do is you take the applicator, get some on your little sponge, and then gently tap around your face. And what this does is it takes away any excess oil on your face, and it gently smooths out your facial planes. The next step is step 4, and what we're going to do is we're going to go in with an under eye primer. And the one I'm using today is from Becca, and it's the Anti-Fatigue Under Eye Primer. And you don't need a lot of under eye primer. I just swirl my finger in here and get a little bit on there, and then gently swipe it underneath my eye where my fine lines are. And what this product does is it fills in your fine and crepey looking lines, and it makes for a very smooth concealer application. And I have tested using and not using this product, and I notice a very big difference when I do use it. But you can use any under eye primer that you have. Our next step is step 5, and we're going to go in with a primer spray. So the primer spray that I'm going to be using today is from Glow Recipe, and this is the Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist. Now for your priming spray, you can go in with any priming spray that you wish. Just ensure that you're not using a setting spray for this step. Just be sure that it's like a hydrating or glowing type of spray. So I'm just going to spray a few little spritzes on my face. And what this is going to do for me is it's going to give my skin a quick boost of hydration before we put on our primer. Okay, now we're ready to move on to step 6. And this step is your base primer. And now this step is really important because the type of primer that you use is dependent on what type of base that you want to achieve. And you also want to match it dependent upon your skin type as well. There are a bunch of different types of base primers. There are illuminating primers, mattifying primers, dewy primers, moisturizing primers, and gripping primers. And today I'm going to be going in with the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. And what this one's going to do for me is it's actually going to create somewhat of a tacky base so my foundation sticks better to it. So I just put some in my hands, rub my hands together, and I'm just going to pat this onto my face. And now the base primer that you choose will change your entire base depending on what type that you select. Next, we're going to be talking about step 7, which is a pore filling primer. Now, everybody can use a pore filling primer no matter what your skin type is. So for today's pore filling primer, I picked the Tatcha Silk Canvas. What I do is I just grab a little bit of this on my finger and I put this in my T-zone where my largest pores are. So I'm going to apply some right here, here, on my nose, between my brows up here, on my chin, and I have large pores right here, so I always put some above my lip as well. So what a pore filling primer does is that it completely fills in your pores for a totally smooth makeup application. And it can also reduce the appearance of your texture as well. So after you get it applied, I like to tap it in instead of rubbing. So that way it really, really fills in those pores. So when you finish tapping in that primer, you're ready to move on to step 8, which is an eyeshadow primer. And the eyeshadow primer that I'm using today is the Milani eyeshadow primer. And there are 3 reasons why you want to use an eyeshadow primer. The first reason is that it totally evens out the coloration of your lids. So if you have uneven color on your lids or veins or anything, this will get rid of them. An eyeshadow primer also makes for really smooth eyeshadow application. And the best part is it makes your eyeshadow looks last longer as well. So what I'm gonna do with this is I'm just gonna squeeze some onto my eyelid. You don't need very much, but I just put about that much on my lids. And then I take a brush and I bring it all the way up to my brow. Make sure you get on the inner corner, all over your lid. You wanna bring this as far up as you can. And that's all there is to it. So now we're ready to move on to step 9, which is one of my favorite steps in makeup, and it is color correcting. And you use color correcting to create a very neutral base, so your complexion products don't have to work so hard to cover up any of your skin concerns. And with color correcting, you could address any type of skin concerns that you wish. So for color correcting today, I'm gonna go in with this Bellapierre color correcting palette, as well as my Becca Undereye Brightening Corrector. So I'm gonna start with my Becca one first, and this one is more of a peachy pink. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply this onto my dark circles of my eye. And I'm also gonna create a little highlight point up on the side of my eye like this. And then as you can see, I have some acne scars around here on my chin and over on this side. So I'm just gonna lightly tap over those with this corrector. And now what you wanna do is you wanna blend it in, but you don't wanna blend it away. So I just go in with a very light hand and just gently brush over it so I don't have any thick spots or harsh lines. And now another skin concern of mine personally is I have some melasma on my upper lip. You can see it in the screen right here. It's this brown spot that goes from right here all the way to right here. And to get rid of that, I use the color red. So I'm just gonna go into this palette and go into this red color right here. And I'm going to just put that on my spot. And just like the other color corrector, you want to blend it, so just blend the edges, but you still want to retain the coverage. If you're more interested in color correcting, I did a very in-depth post about it before, so I will link that in the link section down below if you're interested in reading about it. So that was our last step. So we are completely prepped and primed and ready for our complexion products. So I'm quickly gonna throw on some foundation so I don't sit here and look crazy anymore, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back with my foundation on, and as you can see, it just creates a totally flawless base. And if you choose to follow this base routine, you will definitely notice an enhanced application, a completely neutralized base, and a long-lasting makeup outcome. So let me know down in the comments what your current base routine is and if you're going to implement any of these steps into your current routine. And that's all I have for today's video, so I hope you found it helpful and thought-provoking. And definitely be on the lookout for further continuation of this series. And with that, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you didn't like this video, hit the thumbs down button. And until next time, bye!